I'm Ed Muzio, author of Iterate, and I'm going to give you the 5 key practices for running an iterative management team. We live in a sort of a shared hallucination about management. The idea that it's linear. The idea that we start here at point A in the present, that we make a plan to get to point B in the future, and that we more or less manage people along the way following that plan. It sounds good, but it's not what happens. What really happens is, as soon as we start doing something, things change. Things with the customer change, things with technology change, things with the market change, and before we know it, we're on a very different plan than we thought, and also, oftentimes, we're headed to a very different goal. Because what happens is, every step we take leads to new information, and we have to incorporate that information as we plan the next step. This is what I call iteration. And iterative management will help you incorporate this reality into your management instead of being stressed by it or trying to ignore it. The first key practice of iterative management is output and status broadcasting. And like the word broadcasting suggests, this is about making something known, your output and your status. So let's say this is you, and here are 3 managers that work for you. You run a part of the company that makes products. This person develops the next generation of products. This person produces the current generation. And this is your sales and marketing person who creates the revenue. Output and status broadcasting says each of these people has a forward-looking forecast. This person has a development forecast. This person has a production plan forecast. And this person has sales revenue targets and expectations. And that each of these people is broadcasting, talking about these forward-looking forecasts with each other and with you all the time. Where does that happen? Well, it happens in a lot of places, but it especially happens in the second key practice, work preview meetings. Work preview meetings, like the word preview suggests, are forward-looking meetings. So when you pull these people together to have a meeting, what's happening is that everybody is talking about how things are going relative to their forecast. How is their new understanding of the future changed from their old understanding of the future? So maybe in this meeting, this person says, you know what, we have new information that suggests that our revenue is going to go down. We're going to make less money than we thought over the next several quarters. Now you have to decide what, if anything, to do about that. The third key practice is called group decision making. And this answers the question of how do you make decisions as a group about what to do in those cases. So maybe in this case, you've got a choice. You could just cut down your production to match the new reduced forecast. Or you could assign some development resources over to the sales and marketing team to help create some applications to increase sales and bring back those targets. This is a trade-off between future revenue and current revenue. And to make this decision, you want everybody to share as much information as they can with you. You want to make the best decision you can in light of all the information. And then everybody has to implement that decision fully once the decision is made. That way, your team fully takes the step, which means you can learn from it before you take the next step, iteration. And that leads to the fourth key practice, linked teams. Like the word link suggests, this is about your teams connecting to each other. Linked teams says you run an organization of teams, not an organization of individuals. So on this team that you run, you have your own output plan too, which is you want to produce, develop, and sell the products. And this whole team exists to make that happen. So everyone is looking at your output plan when they debate what to do. It also means that this person here, for example, here's your development manager, here's his managers, and these people all work as a team on his forward-looking plan. So they're all supporting that plan. So when you make a change in this meeting, this person brings all those people along. He links this team to this team. That's important because these resources need to be shared if that's what you decide to do. Now, the last key practice is called Frontline SelfSufficiency. And like the word self-sufficiency suggests, this is about having a front line that can manage themselves as much as possible. So let's look here in the sales and marketing group. Let's say this person runs a bunch of individual contributors. Frontline self-sufficiency says that these people, like any other individual contributors in your organization, would have 3 things. They would have a clear set of goals. They would know exactly what they're supposed to deliver, probably sales targets or marketing projects. They would have control of resources. They would have what they need to do the work, probably demo material, budgets, things like that. And they would have self-managed tracking. They would be good at knowing how things are going with their own work without having to ask their manager. That allows these people to forecast their output to this person, which is what allows this person to make good forecasts to you and have forward-looking meetings. So that's it. You can learn more at iteratenow.com. But if you run a management team, try and get the 5 key practices in place. Get your people broadcasting their output and their status, have forward-looking work preview meetings, make good group decisions, make sure your managers are linking their team to your team, and make sure your front line is as self-sufficient as possible. If you get those 5 things right, you'll run an organization that iterates, that takes the next step, learns from it, keeps going, and doesn't get distracted by the myth of linear management.